Hey, it's Hirsch, and welcome back to my channel. On today's episode of character designing, we are going to be creating side characters for my OC universe Shard. For a quick recap, as always, Shard is a magical world where everyone has a gemstone on the back of their neck that they're born with that either lets them manipulate light or shadow particles, only one, not both, and they're called aura manipulators. I have an entire playlist featuring my OC redesigns of the main cast of this OC universe, so feel free to check out that if you want more context. But basically they all go to Nexus Academy, which is like the most prestigious academy to perfect your aura manipulation abilities and the most popular one as well. So I thought, what better way to continue designing characters than to design teachers who teach at Nexus. I wanted to start including more characters from other continents and stuff, but for now we're starting pretty simple with the teachers, who are also going to be kind of prevalent characters in the story but definitely not part of the main cast. And today's video is kind of like double the length of my usual ones because I'm designing not one but two original new characters. Starting off with the sketching process, you'll only be seeing the process for one of the original characters because for the next one, I didn't actually realize that I was going to be doing two for this video until I already started designing the next one. I was like, oh, okay, might as well include this one as well. Originally, this video was going to be designing uniforms for my OCs and like clothing that they'd wear, but when I went on Pinterest for outfit inspo, I had the sudden urge to like draw teacher uniforms. I don't even know, but that's how we ended up here. I'll go more in depth for the OCs themselves later on, but for now I just wanted to say happy holidays because I think this is my last video that I'm going to be posting for 2024, which is actually insane. I've decided to change my upload schedule a bit, so it isn't weekly, but the uploads themselves will be like higher quality and have more footage and editing because that will work better with the school schedule that I have this year. And hopefully in the summer I can go back to posting regularly, or like this week I am also on vacation, so I can hopefully try and crank out some uploads in advance that I can post while I'm like dying because of school. But yeah, I wanted to take a break from my OC stuff as well for a bit after this video, since I want to go back to doing other type of draw with me's and maybe like podcast style videos where I discuss like popular art topics, like I don't even know, art blog, art style, like stuff like that. So let me know if you're interested in all of that. But yeah, we're pretty much done with the sketching section, and now here's the finished sketch for the other character as well. We'll get on more with him later. And I did the liner off camera because it's easier for me that way to not crane my head over the camera and try to like figure out all of the proportions and everything. So the teachers at Nexus Academy are often people with important government positions because it's the best school in the nation. So yeah, they're gonna want to have the next generation to like be prepared and have as much knowledge and resources at their disposal as possible. So they're gonna have like important people come and teach them and stuff. And each teacher teaches a different aspect of aura manipulation as well, kind of like how here we have different college majors and minors that you can choose from. Aura manipulators, even though there's only two types, can like major in a way in different things like defense, illusion, combat, like there's a lot of stuff. Most of the classes at Nexus are all practical, and I don't think any of them, maybe a couple, but most of them are definitely not like lecture based where you like sit down, you take a test at the end of the semester, stuff like that, because kids only attend Nexus after they finish their like primary education. So it's definitely for more like hands-on learning for the real world and type stuff, like based on the career path that they're going to choose. And also each teacher has different jewelry indicating their manipulation powers. So all the shadow manipulator teachers at the school wear silver, which indicates their status, and then all the light manipulators at the school wear gold, which indicates their status. And also teachers can order custom uniforms. I thought I'd clarify that now. So not every teacher like is gonna have the same exact uniform. They can definitely customize it based on their own strengths and weaknesses, similar to how like each student also has different combat outfits that they can choose based on their own strengths and weaknesses, so stuff like that. But yeah, moving on, we're actually going to talk about the OC. So fun fact, I don't actually have name ideas confirmed for either original characters, so comment some of the suggestions if you have any. I did do a quick Google search earlier before recording this voiceover, and I have picked some out that I like, so let me know what you think. First off, this OC is going to most likely be addressed by the title Admiral, because I'll explain that later. So I was like really into like Athena for some reason, like Admiral Athena, I don't know, alliteration, it sounded kind of cool. But then I realized that I literally have so many A-named characters, and if you know, you know, I keep on getting them mixed up. So I was like, okay, let's move on from the A-names. Maybe let's do like Bernadette or something. Like Bernadette, I feel like Bernadette is kind of cool. It's not like super girly, it's kind of like more, I don't know, like warrior, princess, I don't even know. I don't know, I like the vibes of Bernadette. Quick interruption as I'm editing this video. I just came up with a name idea, Belladonna? I don't know how you say it, but I feel like that'd be such a cool name idea for her. Anyways, back to the video. I also really like Morgan. I feel like Morgan's such a pretty name and it fits this character really well. So I won't really be referring to her as anything. I'll just be referring to her as OC number 1 and the second guy is OC number 2. But if you like any of them, let me know. I'm having a hard time picking. So OC number 1 was born into a lower class family and had to work her way up the hierarchy to achieve her title as Admiral, which came with many trials and tribulations. So in the Shard universe, tensions have recently been rising due to a catalyst that set off a series of events between the 3 main continents in this world. So in Shard there are 3 main continents. I'll get into world building and stuff in a different video, but that's just in the background. So war was practically inevitable because of that catalyst, but by the time this original character clawed her way up to the rankings to Admiral, the war had already begun in full swing, so she didn't have the necessary experience to like truly understand what it's like leading your soldiers into battle day after day, which meant that she suffered from a lot of PTSD after the war truce, which kind of like halted the war for the time being. And the higher-ups realized that she wasn't really fit for this role anymore because she wasn't experienced enough, even though she did like work really hard for this role and it was basically her dream since she was a kid. But the higher-ups still valued her like experience in a way, so they forced her to retire as a war general and set her to teach at Nexus Academy in order to guide the next generation, under the pretense that it was just like a vacation for her and like battle prep or whatever, like a break for her, you know. But obviously this meant that our beloved OC was not at all inclined to teaching. She hated it, she hated kids, but she definitely does use a lot of tough love on them because she knows firsthand just how scary like the actual outside world is, like outside the protections and the barriers of Nexus Academy and their parents and everything. So yeah, that's her backstory. Obviously might add more later, but that's like the rough sort of theme for going on for now. She is a shadow manipulator and she focuses mainly on combat. So in particular, she focuses on creating and dispelling weaponry, and she focuses on teaching like the kids like how to know which tool will help you most in what scenarios and how to create them and like focus your mind and stuff like that. And she also, like, the skill that she really prides herself on is the pocket dimension, which is basically like a really advanced shadow manipulation skill that allows you to create like a shadow realm to store things in, which can be really useful if you like don't have space on your own body for weapons and stuff. If you can control your shadow dimension well, then you can basically just reach out, like, I don't know, like out of nowhere and just grab stuff. It seems pretty useful. So she's really good at that, and she mainly teaches like shadow manipulators at Nexus, but some light manipulators that are combat focused also attend her classes just for experience to know how shadow manipulators fight and stuff like that. For character traits, I'd say that she's like very hardworking, and meaning kind of toxic in a way too, because she will prioritize her work like over pretty much anything. So that can be like a green flag if you're looking at it like, oh, she's so productive all the time, like we love that, but also a red flag because she physically does not allow herself to do anything unless her work is complete. And even then, she's always looking for ways to improve herself and kind of like prove to the higher ups like, yeah, I do deserve the position of Admiral, like take me back and stop making me teach children. So there is that. She's also very intuitive, like good at investigation, putting things together, like detective work, which is why she was really good at battle strategies when she was Admiral. So that was kind of like a bonus point to her being appointed in that position in the first place for the time being. Also, obviously, she hates higher-ups and everything they stand for because they basically took her dream life away from her, even if it was for her own good because of her PTSD attacks. Like, you don't know what would happen if she was, like, actually out on the field while that happened, and it was for her safety, but also she feels like she was kind of tricked after, like, working so hard for that position. So, yeah, I can see where she's coming from. And for her, like, uniform and, like, character design, I'm not gonna lie, I got most of it off of this, like, one pin on Pinterest, and I was like, oh, that looks so cute, which is the inspo for this entire video. But I did decide to add on like a cape because it's similar to her Admiral uniform, so wearing that cape in her school teacher uniform kind of brings her some semblance of comfort. And the uncolored areas right now will be filled in with like gray later on, which kind of looks like silver, which, you know, demonstrates that she's a shadow manipulator. I was debating for a while what color I wanted the base of like each uniform to be because I knew that wouldn't be able to change like between like teachers and students and stuff. Like I'd have to pick one base color, and I decided to go for this like kind of dark navy royal blue sort of thing because I didn't want like just a plain black and white uniform. I feel like that would be so terribly boring. I cannot draw in black and white. That's just, I'm sorry, I'm not into that. Also, like, not just for aesthetic purposes, but also I think like blue is like generally like not a neutral color, but like we see it as a neutral color because like, come on, everyone wears jeans with everything and jeans are blue, so I feel like blue goes like really well with a lot of colors too. And yeah, so I like this blue color a lot. I did kind of incorporate a gray color too to blend it out and not just make it like bright in your face blue. For character design itself, I knew I wanted her to have like really bright red hair, and I was debating between giving her green eyes and blue eyes, but I figured I don't think I have any other blue-eyed characters yet, and I have a lot of green-eyed characters, so I decided to make her eyes blue to kind of complement her outfit in a way. And yeah. Moving on to our second original character for the day, and he will go by the title Duke. So he is like not in like a higher position, but he's in like a different area of expertise than Admiral, because Admiral is like more for war-based terms, but Duke is like political, you know, nobility, stuff like that. Anyways, I will not be sharing his real name because A, I haven't picked that out yet, and B, he's a spy. But let's get into that. Some fake name ideas, and I think I'm leaning the most towards one of them. First idea that I had for him was Alver, and I don't know why I like A names so much, but I really need to stop because I already have so many A names in my story. So as much as I do like the name Alver, I decided to not go with that. Next one was Louise or Louis, but I feel like both of those were good, but not what I was looking for. And then we had Luther, which is like, I liked it, but at the same time, after thinking about it, I was like, okay, he doesn't really look like a Luther. So then the last like spy name that I chose for him was Lynx. So yeah, this is Lynx. That's his name. Lynx. That's what I've decided to go with for now because I like it the most. Anyways, Lynx was born into a higher class family and had his life pretty much set out for him from the start. He's a light manipulator and was really good at like advanced skills from a young age, so kind of like a prodigy. So he chose to become a spy for the government and played double agent / collecting info for a while because he's probably one of the people that's the best at it, and he hates like boring people. Like he hates being bored, and he wanted to do something like fun and like amusing in a way because like his entire life was practically handed to him on a silver platter. So he wanted to have some way of like entertainment his whole life while still maintaining his family name. So that's how we got spy. And also he's just really good at it. He's probably one of the best people at it too, so yeah. No one knows the real reason why he came to Nexus Academy because he seems like happy enough to teach her, so they're all assuming that it was voluntary unlike OC number 1, but also he had like his complete life set up for him, so there's no reason for him to like be at Nexus Academy because he definitely wasn't forced here. So that's a bit of a mystery, but who knows what he's chasing here at Nexus. Anyways, like I said, he's a light manipulator with a stealth focus, so in particular, he can turn invisible, which is like one of the hardest skills for a light manipulator to master because you're basically manipulating light particles like in yourself, like trying to match yourself to your surroundings, which takes an insane amount of concentration, so he prides himself in that. And he doesn't teach like that in his classes though because you need years of experience, so people do come back after graduating for personal lessons, but like he doesn't teach that at Nexus Academy itself, but like exclusively he does. He also like mainly talks about like speed improvements and like how to move yourself through light and shadow particles really fast. And for light manipulators, he teaches illusionary magic and like how to craft holograms, which is also essential for his spy work. He teaches both types of manipulators because his main focus is the whole like shadow and light travel thing, and that's skill that pretty much everyone at Nexus is going to need to graduate to some extent. Obviously, the more advanced his classes get, the more advanced his techniques will be in those particular skill sets, but that's like the overarching focus that he does. So for some character traits, he can definitely seem very derogatory when he's talking to you because it seems like he talks down on people, but really he's just like super blunt and honest about everything. Like if he doesn't like you, he's gonna make it known that he doesn't like you, not to try and be rude, but just because that's who he is. Like he's gonna be super straightforward about everything. He also cares a lot about appearances, like 20-step skincare and hair care routine type caring, which is why his hair is so long and luscious. Definitely not because I wanted to draw a long-haired male character for no reason at all. And his hair isn't actually light gray, it's just easier for him to keep it that way. He used light particles to manipulate it that way, because it's easier to work for like with disguises and stuff when he is doing spy work, so he just rolls with it. And also his monocle was an object that he crafted himself by infusing light into it that helps him track like aura manipulation particles when he looks through it, so it is also again very useful in spy work. And for a bit about their relationship, like the teachers, him and OC number 1 do not get along at all because he's definitely the type to like push her buttons, and she does not have the time nor patience to deal with his antics, so that's kind of a bit about their story. He is going to be wearing like gold jewelry. He has like a little pin on his right side, I think. yeah, gold pin, and then he also has one like near his pants. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really like his outfit that much. I like his top. I feel like it's like a cool, like very fancy dress shirt material, but I don't really love his pants, so I feel like I might give him like a more, like, I don't even know, I might like make his like shirt a bit more cropped and like tuck it into his pants or something and like re-add the corset, because while I was coloring I decided to forego the corset, but then I decided, oh wait, it kind of looks better with the corset itself. And it's also, his pants are really plain, they're just like plain black leather pants, so I don't know, don't love his clothing design, but I do like his like character design itself. For a bit of a life update, I did start the official like creation of my capstone project for school, so I will have an excuse to be forced to draw basically every day, which should be fun, but also I don't know if I'll have time to draw like other stuff besides that. And also comment down below video ideas that aren't OC related, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't have much more OC content to actually share until I'm done with the actual story writing, which I keep on changing the ending for, because every time I think I have it down, I'm not satisfied with how it ends. Like, I know how it ends, but I don't like the way in which it ends. Like, I feel like the ending's a bit too rushed for my liking, especially after the whole like first part of the story. I'm basically gonna split it into like 3 parts. So the first half will be, or the first part will be like super slice of life, very like fun, and then like towards the end of that things will start to get serious. And then the second part's kind of like a training like backstory arc where you like find out more stuff about all the characters, which kind of brings all the puzzle pieces together. And the third arc is like actually, you know, defeating the villains and like finding out all that stuff. So that's kind of like where I'm splitting the story up right now, but I feel like the third arc that I have right now is super rushed and I don't like how it's going. So I feel like I need to like rewrite it and make it less rushed and like figure out, okay, like some characters are disappearing for the third arc and then like coming back later on, so I need to figure out the timing of all that. But other than that, let me know how your 2024 was in the comments, because the next time I see you will be after New Year's, which is crazy. So for finishing touches, I decided to add an orange and a blue background behind both of the characters, just to add like a pop of color in my sketchbook, because it's looking a little bit plain right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you so much for staying till the end, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!